Interesting. You make a noise. Yeah. You can get the cymbals behind you, but you don't want to do that.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the No Control Zone. It's in the zone time once again, and we got some things to talk about this week for sure. Joining me this week, all the way from Port Elgin, Ontario, is co-commish Ryan Kelly. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
Pretty good, TK. Looking forward to talking on the podcast. Bo, it's over at Port Elgin Wolfpack's house on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was real disappointed we couldn't get together for a
Ah,
podcast.
yeah, it was a rough day. I had a bad day with
Yeah,
there are certain pain days that I just can't function. And
yeah.
that was
And I
one.
told him that.
Yeah.
And well, the problem was that he was nervous at the start.
Oh, was
Like,
he?
should we do it? Well, he's like, should we do it? I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. We're just talking hockey and talk about whatever. And then he's like during the because we started drinking at like.
Oh, that would make it even better.
Well, that's right. They start drinking on 2, and he's like, well, I don't want to get too drunk for it. And I was like, well, you better slow down then. And then as the day went on, he's like, he's getting more confident. And then I said, well, Terry might not do it. And then he's like, then he got super confident. He's like, oh, no, I really want to do it because obviously you didn't want to do it anymore. It's like, oh, this is the perfect time. Why can't we do it now? Like me and you should just do one and send it in. I'm like, no.
You got the old liquid courage, eh?
Oh yeah, that's right. But we could have done one. That's too bad.
Well, I had a big surprise for everybody. I had our intro all ready for tonight. It was going to be me and you on here. And I said, oh, geez, Al hasn't signed on yet. And then I was just going to have Al walk behind me here and sit down beside me. And we were going to podcast because Al's coming out to Comox for Christmas here to stay with me. And he's 5 miles from final into Comox. And all of a sudden the plane goes into a huge 360, goes and does another one. And all of a sudden over the intercom they come, I'm sorry, folks, we cannot land in Comox. There is somebody, get a load of this. There was somebody stuck in the toilet. So they couldn't land, so they diverted to Vancouver. My first question for Al was, well, since they got to land anyway, why not just land in Comox? And he goes, I don't know. I guess they have more door mechanics in Vancouver. So it gets better.
Weird.
It gets better, man.
That's so weird.
This guy's locked in the fucking in the toilet, and they land in Vancouver. And when they land in Vancouver, it pops the door open.
And he walks out like, "Hey guys, how's that trip to Comox?"
So right now, Al and Lori are sitting in an airport, hoping to still try and catch a plane tonight, but it's kind of looking like it's probably going to be tomorrow.
Jeez. And what time's now? 8 o'clock there. Is there one more flight to come back or not even?
Yeah. Well, Jazz usually came in around 9:30, didn't they? I don't know if he's on WestJet or Jazz. I think they're trying to get a whole new plane, right? So once the door popped open, you think they could have just fucking kept taxiing and took off and went right back to Comox. Nope, can't do that. We've had a mechanical issue, and once we've reported it's got this plane, we can't use this plane.
So weird.
So they're trying to get him a new plane right now, but yeah.
And he's going down to final, and they're like, no,
5 miles. 5 miles per hour. All you should have heard me was fucking just trashing the Comox IFR guys. These guys obviously screwed up. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah. And then
was that in the air? Did he have internet in the air?
Well, because he was close, right? He was on 5 miles final. And usually you can pick up the internet as you're coming in on final.
Was that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, so he was ready to cut down the IFR guys, and then the guy comes across the intercom. Yes, we have somebody stuck in the toilet right now, and we can't land in Comox. When he texted it to me, I didn't believe it at first. I'm
I
like,
still
no
believe it.
way. I said, what? Like, fuck, just reef on the goddamn thing. You know how
Yes.
flimsy those things are.
And they said, no, we can't.
No,
Let's turn
no.
around
Yeah.
to the 40 minutes back to Vancouver
So the
because the
guy
guy
sat
said,
on the shitter while they landed.
my God.
So it still
And then,
remains.
and then they land and pop.
This
He's
door pops open.
just kidding, guys. April Fools. Good
That is
Lord.
awesome. I love it. That's
That's
uh
unreal. That's a weird story.
yeah, that's a Christmas keeper story for sure. That's a good one.
I hope he gets out there tonight at least, though.
Yeah.
Is he? So he's staying with you guys for what? A couple of days?
Oh, for a week. Over a week. Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm back on the 25th. I'll come in. I'll
Oh,
come in
yeah,
next
for
week.
sure. For sure. Absolutely.
I think didn't Dan say he was coming in to Comox
Yeah,
too?
I remember him saying that too as well. But didn't I just see he drove out to New Brunswick or something?
Was that on Facebook? I'm not on that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think it was.
He might have,
And
but he messaged me back
but he
in
could
like
be
November
flying from
saying,
there too, right?
yeah, that's true. He said he's going to come out and so let's
Yeah.
get Terry. Let's go to Terry's house and do a podcast in the drum studio. And
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome.
that's
I was hoping
you
Al would
don't
be here
land.
for us tonight.
How do you not land the
I
plane?
know, it's crazy.
Who cares if he's in the washroom? You land in Comox and then you figure it out.
Well, they didn't
Everybody deplanes.
I guess they didn't think they'd have anybody with the knowledge to open one of those doors in Comox. You know, we
That's
are a
messed up.
small little town, right?
It's super small, but
We-
it's a
we-
big island.
We don't have the big tools.
A big monkey wrench. That's messed up. No, sorry, Al.
Well,
Sorry,
it
buddy.
was fun. It was funny too because he got delayed out of Calgary, right? And so what does he
did
do? Him and Lori are all pumped for their vacation, right? So they fucking hit the Air Canada lounge and they're pounding back. So now they're sitting half pie-eyed,
As you should. As you should.
waiting to
Yeah.
see what the hell's gonna happen for him.
Yeah.
Too funny. All right.
Jeez.
Well, let's
right,
get
buddy.
into this. Let's get into this. We are going to talk about the Langway division and talk about moving and shaking this week. We had the whole division rattled around just a little bit. And we got a familiar team back in top spot. We have our very own Ryan Kelly's brewing up some suds in first place at 15-4-1 for 31 points. They had a big week going 2-0. The Bruins beat the Outlaws 6-1 and beat MLJ 5-1. Nothing to say?
You're frozen on mine. Am I good on you? Can you hear me?
Well, you're a little bit frozen, but I can hear
you.
you.
Me? Oh, wait, are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. Yeah, because you were frozen and I could hear you. Then I was like, no, I don't think you can hear me.
Yeah, you were frozen.
Yeah, I took a good 2-week hiatus. I was in Hawaii for 10 days. So it coincided with my time not being in first, but that was just a coincidence. That's not the fact. Like I don't go on these
since you were on vacation, your team fell apart.
Well, that too, but I also wasn't on the podcast, right? So it's like I'm only on podcast. I'm in first place.
Yeah,
that's not the case. Sure, I'm back this week when I'm in first again.
Look at that.
It's just a coincidence, and my team's good. But no, it's yeah. I took that 2 weeks ago when I lost to Pitter Patter and I lost to Stevie and I lost to Keith. That was a tough 2 losses.
Yeah,
and I bounced back and I just beat the crap out of Dean and Sealand. And then Dean, it's like, you know what I need to do? I need to trade for 5 great players and just jump right back up to the whole thing. So then he did that. So, but then I beat up on who did I beat up on?
Outlaws and MLJ.
Yeah.
6-1, 5-1.
MLJ, like he's lucky he made that trade because he should be in the bottom 4.
He's not
now they made that trade, but like before he wasn't making that with Quick and with those guys because he's
killing him.
He had 21 points and he was staying tall with me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that makes more sense when he trades away 5 great players and gets back. I mean, Drysdale, I love Drysdale, but I know you're a fan of Thomas, but I'm not that fan of Thomas. And then you got 2 plugs and a 5th round draft pick. But like, I mean, it makes sense. He had to get rid of those guys if he wants to go in the bottom 4. But I mean, like, it must be in a 2-year rebuild, right?
That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking. I was thinking
yeah,
to your rebuild too.
yeah,
That's the one area where it would be if you don't
yeah,
if you can't carry a strong team into the finals, like into the playoffs, it's probably not
yeah,
wise to, you're probably going to need more than a year to do it.
yeah.
But if you take a
And he's
look
got
at
a lot of
what you
prospects,
did,
right?
yeah, but if you look at what you did, I mean, you went from worst to first, so
Right now.
it can be done.
Oh, for sure it can be done. Like it just, yeah, you need some guys on the bench that you can put into your lineup who suck. And you need two goal, like me and you both had no goalies playing for most of the year, right? Last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Whereas Nick's got
He
Quick
was
who
stuck. He was stuck. He had
just,
no roster
just keeps
spots.
winning.
Yeah, he
Just
had
keeps
no roster
winning.
spots. Yeah, no. Quick is absolutely 100% vibe this year. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. He might only be a 1 year rental, but I don't know who needs a goalie who can afford a whatever. Nick was like, give me a third round draft pick next or a couple weeks ago, right? And I guess nobody offered it to him. Or
He
maybe
did.
they didn't. He said no. Yeah. But like,
He even offered it to his old man, and he needs a
yeah,
goaltender, and he didn't take it.
well, that just means as much as Keith is, we could talk about him next because he's in second with whatever
Oh, you ruined all
fan,
the
I know.
surprise.
Fancy stats last week said that he's not going to stay there, and I agree. I don't think he's going to go far to the playoffs because everybody below him is not as good. But his team won't compete with Renee and Colwood, and possibly with me. I won't put myself up there with Renee and Colwood. Like they're very good teams and very good franchises. I just hope to be there. Give me a little sliver of hope.
Well, anything can happen in the playoffs. All right,
Anything
so
can happen.
we shall talk about Keith then, moving all the way up to second place. Wow, Mustangs are now 15-5-0 for 30 points, and they're only 1 point out of first place right now. Keith's had another great week, 2-0.
Yeah.
The Sangs, they beat the Rangers. That's a huge game
Yep.
for the Mustangs to pull that off.
Yep.
And then they also beat the Outlaws 5-2. So Keith took care of the one team that he had to, and big win against the Rangers and helped you out.
Wow. I mean, he helped us out. He helped us both out. First himself, because he needed him. And I had the second call those bonus helps, I guess. But yeah, I beat up on Dean 4-3, and then because that was tight, right? It was 4-3. And then
What, last week?
This last week, yeah, it was close.
Oh,
right?
no, you beat him 6-1.
No,
Rangers?
Keith beat Rangers. Yeah, 4-3.
Yeah, this week, yes, 4-3.
Yeah,
and
close game.
Yeah,
and then JP, who could be great 1 week and not one,
could be,
and crap 1 week the other. But
yeah,
and he's got good players, I guess, if you want to trade for him. But I don't know. But yeah, but no, Keith, he had a good 2. I don't know if fancy stats later will say that he's still a pretender or not, but that's for later in the podcast.
We shall see.
Don't say anything, Terry.
Oh, I won't say anything, but I mean, it's been an impressive climb from Keith really throughout the whole season. Him and Sealand were pretty much tied together there for the longest time, and then Sealand actually broke the tie between them and went ahead, and then Keith came right back the next week and tied him back up, and has been moving straight up ahead of him ever since, and all the way up to second place. I mean, that's 15-5.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. But as Keith will tell you,
yeah,
as Keith will tell you, he's playing the right teams at the right time. He goes, everything's just working for him. You know what I mean? If he has a bad week himself personally, he's playing really bad teams and he beats them. Or he has a really good week against a really good team and he beats them. He's being very opportunistic. That's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't see what categories he got with Dean. He must not have won the goalie categories, right?
Dean had a horrible week.
Did he?
Yeah, he was way down with points.
So Keith had points in maybe penalties. We got those 4.
Yeah.
And Dean got the goalie point, got the goalie in the plus minus, something like that.
Can't quite
I think Dean's a better team than Sealand.
Oh, yeah. I think if you ask Keith,
the only reason Sealand's
the same.
Yeah, and I think you ask Sealand. The only reason Sealand's good or has been good is because his goaltending, Bennington and Shesterkin are.
Well, we'll talk about Steve in a second about his goaltending. It actually saved his ass in this week, that's for sure. But anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
No, Keith is definitely going to be top 4 or 5. He's.
Oh, he's a
it's tough to
playoff team
say.
for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and it's tough to say who's going to finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because right now, all 5, there's 5 playoff spots in the Langway. Unlike last week when you were all gloating last week how there was 4 teams in the Bossy division in the playoffs. It was a good
Yes,
1
I
week,
was.
short-lived.
Yeah,
you were, and I saw that.
It was a little short-lived.
Short-lived there, but maybe wait till next week.
Yeah.
So now Langway's got all 5 spots, and
but you may say that, true, but it's a whole different situation right now because Sealand is now in the picture too as well for the wild card spot, where nobody else from the Langway was in the picture before, and now there was only 1 team. Now there's like 2 teams, maybe 3. We'll see what happens this week. We'll talk about that as well a little bit later. But the team,
if you want to talk real, there's only 3 teams in your division that should make the playoffs. Okay.
I would agree with that. I would agree.
As long as we both agree with that, we can move on.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Then we shall move on. We shall move on. We
can talk about that when we get to the Bossy division. I didn't want to bring up the Bossy stuff.
That's a good call. That way, keep the podcast a little bit shorter than I've been running them around an hour and 40. Anyway, so the guy who suffered the worst week and obviously made this whole big shakeup in the Langway division possible was the Colwood Rangers. They're now 14-6-0 for 28 points. They had a very bad week, going 0-2, losing to the Mustangs 4-3, which is a big game, which got Keith to be able to flip over top of them. And they lost to the Wolfpack 4-3, who is also a little bit below them and now is closing the gap. So the whole division seems to be tightening up in a different way, and a really bad week by the Rangers. But in Dean's defense, tough competition. Mustangs and Wolfpack and Waste, not an easy schedule. So we all know what's happened now with Dean's new trade here. So it's like it's interesting watching you guys volley nuclear weapons at each other. Renee threw the biggest bomb at the start of the year, and now he's kicked back, and he's watching all the radiation residue fall all over the no control zone while we all slowly die. And then you built yourself a little atom bomb there, and then Dean decided.
I'm just like it's a small piece at a time, and then Dean's another one. Here's 4 players.
So now you guys are lobbing nuclear bombs at each other, you and Dean. And I just wanted to point out, there's such a thing as overkill, you guys. All right.
Is there?
Not this year. I guess not. There is some serious competition going to go out there for the playoffs. And I hate to say this, but this is one of the years when, because I probably won't be one of them, but I almost hope there's no upsets, because I would really like to see the final 4 battle it out and just see.
Ooh. So you don't think you're top 4?
I might be by the end of the year.
I think so. I mean, it's like I'm not. Donovan's team's good too, but it's tight between you 2.
Yeah, I get Kucherov back, and that's going to make a really big difference.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah. And who knows? There's
you still if you ever decide to trade,
I know you don't. I've got stuff in the hopper. I've got some trades out there and that, and we're just negotiating. We're in negotiating progress and all that. So. I'm only going to make the move if I think I can join you guys. If I can't,
you don't think so already? You don't think with one move you're up there?
It's possible. That's what I'm saying. Like if I can join you guys, then I will. Yes. I'm a little bit scared of going up against you guys with my goaltending. My goaltending can be really good and it can be really bad. So it all depends. I have
you need the Islanders. Say the Islanders pick up at the end of the year. Yeah, that's when you want him to pick up.
Yeah, true.
Sorokin's gonna be the guy.
Oh, I'm not worried about Sorokin. It's Bobrovsky I'm worried about. That's the guy
I'm always worried about him. I would not want him, but hope he's fine.
Yeah,
I think your goalie and your D are strong, and your
we'll talk.
are strong.
But we'll talk about me later. We'll talk about me later. All
Always
right.
about you, Terry. It's always about you.
So anyway, Dean having a rough week, and boy, he dropped all the way from first place down into third place in Langway. That was
But
a
yeah, two,
quick
two,
rise
four,
and a
three
quick fall.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's, I hope he stays down there. But it's 2, 4, 3 games, and Bowes and him, it was tight. They were tied at 14 pins on the Sunday, and
Yeah.
I think they both had at least a couple of guys playing, and nobody got a pin.
Yeah.
So Bo took that, and then I still don't know. I was watching more Bowes and him closely because I know if there was just one pin one way, then Dean takes that, and they tie. And I really wasn't cheering for him to lose 2 games, but I wasn't cheering for him to win or tie it.
That's fair.
So,
I'd say that's
so it
fair.
was nice to see him. Yeah. So then, wait, can you hear me? Could you
Yep.
pause a second?
No, I can
You
hear
good?
you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very tight one, and then I don't know what I think Keith's been getting good points. Like I don't know who's getting him points, but he's getting like he's even like last week when it was tough, it was like 30 plus, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You
I
got
think
the
so.
list there?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. Let's go take a look.
But anywhere Dean has been faltering, and he just supersized his team with his trade for 8 billion players.
That's funny. Oh wow, I just did something I've never done before. I don't know how I did that.
What'd you do?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. You better
That's
look
pretty
back after
cool.
this and then learn
Pretty
what you
cool what I
did.
did though. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh well, we'll see if our now I put it back and I don't know how I did that either.
It's like me trying to start this thing. Couldn't
Wonder if
hear
it's
me, and all of a
this.
sudden you
No,
can hear me.
it's not that. It's not that. It's not this. Oh, there. That'll be a good picture of you. I got a solo shot of you just boozing it.
That's the proper picture.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh man, now I lost you completely.
Oh, you can't see me?
Oh, there we go. All right, I got you now.
right.
So what did you want to know about week 10?
Yeah, what was the categories between Dean and Keith? I think it must be Keith points and maybe Pims, and then Dean got the goalies, I guess. Because Keith goalies are garbage. They're not garbage. Like Koskinen, he's all right.
So
I
Keith
guess.
got him by 1 in the plus minus, 3 in the assists, 2 in the goals, and 5 in points.
Also the Pims.
Dean wasn't his goaltending at all, and it wasn't his Pims.
No, yeah. Mustang's goaltending is not garbage. They're just not the best.
Yeah.
Because he's got Koskinen, he's got other guy. Help me out.
He's got Koskinen and Ullmark.
Oh, I don't mind Ullmark. If Swayman and Rask play, then who knows? Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah. Ullmark's a good steady guy. And Koskinen, he's up and down, right? Like he had good games. Like
he's also got Vanacek on the bench.
Yeah, he's a prospect though.
Is he a prospect? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a prospect.
Oh, Keith's been known to sign a prospect mid-season before.
I like that big banner.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Mustangs.
That's right.
Vanacek. Vanacek's the problem there is like they're both good goalies and they're both playing for a starting job.
Yeah.
In Washington.
Yeah.
And like Vanacek takes over and then Samsonov gets 2 shutouts. It's like, well, who's doing it?
All right, so let's move down to 4th place. We got Sealand Hockey Club, who's been faltering a little bit. We know why they've been faltering. It was their goaltending, and the goaltending made a huge difference for them this week. They lost both games last week with no goaltending, but Stolarz came up big for Sealand to beat the Capitals 4-3 on Sunday night. He got a .950 save percentage game, and that was the only goaltending game he had, plus the 2 points, put him over the Capitals, and the Capitals were beating Sealand up to that point. So they really needed that win to stick around. Anyway, they're 12-8-0 right now for 24 points. They beat the Capitals 4-3, how I just told you, with the goaltending of Stolarz.
You did.
And moves like Jagger beat Sealand 5-2. And so Sealand's been on a bit of a they've been coming down.
Teeter-totter.
It's their goaltending, but it's more than just the goaltending. So I see Sealand faltering just a little bit now. Of course, they're going to be helped once they get back to their goaltending.
Yeah, and that's if you can have like those guys who play well most of the time, then you should lock up those two categories. But you still need two other categories, and
Yeah,
he doesn't have like a dominating penalty guy team. He doesn't have a dominating point team. He doesn't have a dominating plus minus team.
yeah.
But if you can have like the right combination, the right mix, of whatever, then yeah, he can win a week for sure. He can go to the playoffs and beat anybody. He could beat Renee. He could beat Colwood. He could beat
Oh yeah,
Keith. He could beat Terry. He could beat any of those guys.
yeah.
But his goaltending is a huge part of his team. And then he did pick up two odd Gross and somebody O'Connor from Colorado. I don't know much about those two, but maybe he knows them more than what we do.
Yeah,
And
I
hopefully they
don't
help
know
his
much
team
about
out.
him either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's content to be where he's at right now, and there's still lots of time. Like what's the trade deadline? March? February?
Yeah, somewhere around there, February, March at the end there. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, and I think
We usually let the league generate that one.
was that right?
It's
And
usually
then
a
we just
pretty
use
good
whatever they have.
time. We changed it once before because there was a reason. I can't remember why, but we can
Yeah,
change
there was.
it in
Yeah,
this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
but
one.
wasn't
there one season we went trade right up to the playoffs or something?
something. Maybe it was the COVID one.
Yeah,
Who
it could have
knows?
been. But I do think we did things. Anyway, we got the capabilities to change things, and we'll be talking
that
about
powerful.
that at the end of this about the schedule coming up. So we'll talk about a little bit about that at the end of the podcast, or maybe you and I should just do a quick commission report right after this one.
Ooh, let's do that, I guess.
Yeah, that might be the route to go.
But Sealand will definitely be top 5 in that division. I don't know if he's going to end up 4th or 5th. If I was to guess,
well, he's
5th.
He's only up by a point right now.
That's what I mean. I don't think he's on both.
Which means he's only 2 points out of a playoff, being out of the playoffs.
I know, but like he's not like Al's not catching him. UP's not catching him. Nick's not catching him, so he's going to be top 5 in that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. None of those three are going anywhere from there.
And I don't know what he wants. I don't know if he wants to go maybe sell 1 to 2 guys off. The first round draft pick and get 2 first rounds and actually like legitimately contend next year.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he listens to these things. I don't know if we can help him out. He doesn't say much on there, but he does make moves. Like he made those 2 moves, but who knows what he.
Well, a lot of moves have happened already. I'm expecting more to come with the way this nuclear race is going on. So let's talk about your cohort in Port Elgin, and that would be the Wolfpack, who stayed in 5th place, but they had a great week, and it's good enough to move them back into a playoff spot and grab a wild card spot, which they were only out of the playoffs for 1 week, and they made the move and they got right back. So they had an excellent week to do that. So both sitting at 10-7-3 right now for 23 points. For the week, he went 1-0-1. Huge victory against the Rangers 4-3. And the Wolfpack also, this was the bad one. The Wolfpack,
I would say a huge, terrible tie.
And believe me, boy, Al had some words for Bo tonight. Let me tell you, he's going, how can you possibly lose to me when I got 12 points?
Well, Bo had some words for Al, saying like he's like, your goalie should play more than 1-2 games a week, or they should both be disqualified. Like that's horseshit.
Is he all right? Good for Bo. Good for Bo. Well, they actually
because like after Saturday, like because I was over there on Saturday, like he's like, I can't not tie Al. I can't. I'm not. No goalies are playing, and like I'm already beaten in the categories, and he's beaten in the categories I can't catch him.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, then like if your goalies don't play at least 2 games a week, you should forfeit both those categories. And
well, there is in the other league that I'm in, they have a rule, but I don't like it. That
what is it?
Your goaltenders have to play 100 minutes And
A week?
if yeah, combined,
So that's just 2 games.
combined,
That's just 2 games then. Okay.
less than 2 games. It's 5 periods, right?
Well, yeah, but you're not gonna
Yeah,
play 5 periods.
yeah. But I
Maybe
mean,
you
it
can,
just
maybe
keeps
you
you
can.
covered. But it really becomes a pain in the ass because then you have to go back and change all the scores because if it makes a difference and all that. And basically
Wish it
all
would
it,
have this week.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is that what
so
Alonso's doing?
that won't be one that I don't see changing in the near future. I
Yeah,
love
he asked me to bring it up. He's like,
yeah.
can you bring it up? And because
Well,
I told him me, you, and Al would be talking
you got to
as the
tell him to stop
co-commissioner.
being so shy. He
He
can
was
put,
ready to go Saturday night, 9 o'clock p.m. at this time.
but
Couple vodkas in him. He was ready.
all he's got to do is put a little note in the league news feed and say, look, I think we need to, and it puts the plan into motion, but just whispering over to Ryan Kelly that is fucking bullshit. This is fucking
He's probably already pissed off that I already brought this up, so this is great.
No, it's nothing wrong with bringing up the ideas. I think that's great that Bo would bring up something like that, but it's just
It's interesting because it just there's too many factors. Because say this week would have continued on, right?
yeah.
Then some teams have no goalies playing.
Yep. Well,
some
Renee 1 year ago or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and the
I
half
remember him
week
complaining.
had no goaltenders play, and he
Yep.
wanted something done about it. And I go, that's it's just the way it is. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's true.
however, since we're there right now, we should actually just talk about it now. This week has become too much of a crapshoot because, to my knowledge, Ryan thinks there's games tomorrow. I think they've been canceled.
There's 2 games, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
2 more games.
Oh, there's 2 more games. So basically, for this entire week, there will only be 3 games. So we can't. That's just too much of a crapshoot. We just can't do that. So there is going to be some wrangling of the schedule. We're going to tack on the other half week and make this one a full one. We hope. We don't have all the information yet, so we don't know what we're going to, how many weeks we're going to have to change. We might have to make some like 6 days or some 8 days. So you might have to keep a little better track this year, but we'll just play it on the fly as the NHL pretty dictates what we can do. Right. So neither me or Ryan nor Al think that the guys are going to go to the Olympics. So odds are there's 2 weeks with no games. So we actually don't have those.
They have to fit those games. Like they've already missed 40 plus games. They got to fit them in there somehow.
And they're going to use that. They're going to use that 2-week break.
Yeah, they have to.
And that's where we'll have to readjust the schedule again to add in those 2 weeks. But hopefully, I'm still going to try to work it in a way that we end up with a 21-week regular season.
And I just want to point out that I did not agree to this at all. He strong-armed me. He coerced me.
Yeah, I did.
All the way from Comox.
Yeah.
I felt the pressure. I said, I don't want it. He's like, you better agree with me.
I told him I'd give him a kick. I'd give him a kick down if he didn't agree. So like I'm feeling tough with my hair.
Yeah. And the new bandana.
Oh, I got a few of them. Yeah. I like the Nike ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one's
it's almost Hawaiian. Almost.
This one's got the I like that too. So I like this one. Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm a fan of that one too. But I agree.
So did we? Yeah, we were.
Bo
talking.
Bo big. Yeah, Bo big too big. Well.
Yeah, it was a huge point. No matter what.
Shitty tie. It was big, but
because it got in the playoffs.
Yeah, but the win would have been better, and
it would have been better.
It's gotta kick you a little lower in the body when you can tie like a.
I know, but like I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Going into this half week, I like this week should have went from today to what, Thursday?
Thursday at least. Right?
That's what the week would have been. And I was playing both Flying Colors and the Gators. And I'm seeing all kinds of possibilities on how to lose in a half week to those 2 teams, right? It's very, very freaking possible.
So I looked at like most matchups and I saw how many players each team had playing. And I looked at goalies. I even looked at goalies. I'm like, so I knew I had Vasilevsky playing at least one game.
Yeah.
If everybody played this week. And I knew Buffalo played 2 games, so I'm like, Subban, hey, interesting. And then I knew Arizona was playing 2 games. I was like, Wedgwood, that's interesting because he's going to
Yeah.
play 1, and that's at
Yeah.
least
That's all you need. There's a lot of
a
case, right?
percent,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So I looked at all that. I looked at who, which one of my players are playing, and I'm like, oh, I got 6 or 7 guys playing, and then this guy's only got this many, and this guy's got like 4 or 5, and this guy's got 0. It's like nobody had 0, but I looked at it all, and I was ready to go. I was like, if I had to make a move, I would have made a move. If I had to drop a
Well,
guy to pick up a goalie to get some points, I would have done that.
I was ready to go too, but I'm not going to say I wasn't nervous. Especially like I would almost in a half week, I'd almost rather be playing the hard teams and hope that
Yeah.
shit goes your way. You know what I mean?
That's right. Because
Instead of like the way I see it, playing those 2 teams, I can only lose.
Yeah.
And actually, you'll see later when we get to the Bossy Division, the Garros team actually did something. So we'll talk about that later too, though.
Oh, I'm interested.
But
yeah, let's go back to Bo. Bo played well.
Yep.
Got 1
3 out of
win,
4
1
points.
tie.
Yep.
Yeah, back in the playoff spot.
Back in a playoff spot.
And he shouldn't have tied out.
Agreed. But he's currently 1 point into a playoff spot with 2 teams 1 point behind him. And he's 1 point behind 4th place in the Langway. So he's dead smack in the, this could be, you never know. It could be a 4-team battle. We had it. That was the one and only year you didn't make the playoffs was when we had a 4-team battle for the wild card. Remember?
It's a shitty. So Driscoll came out, and I'm looking at him, and I know he's like 4 or 5 points behind me. I'm like, he's gonna catch me because there's Driscoll, and he bothers me every now and then, and then he just and then I'm out of the playoffs, and he's in there. I'm like, that's how this works. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you never know. We could get down to a battle like that.
I'd be very surprised if we go to the last year after. There's a couple of those teams I'd be very surprised if they're in the playoff spot, or even contending for a playoff spot.
So let's go to 6th place then. Let's talk about the Quebec City Outlaws. They moved up this week, which I don't think they were, or no, they didn't move up. They just stayed.
Who knows what they did?
Yeah.
JP.
Anyway, the Outlaws are 3-12-5 for 11 points. They had a good tank week. They went 0-2. The Mustangs beat the Outlaws 5-2, and you kicked the crap out of them 6-1.
Should have been 7-0. You got a couple minuses at that, or a couple pluses at the last day. Should have been 7-0 sweep, but I felt bad for him. I said, "All right, JP, here's one."
That was nice of you. That was
nice
because nobody's been losing like Dan. Like Dan just loses 7-0 every freaking game. It seems.
Yeah. If we can talk about who's going to win that bottom 4. So I know Dan's got. I don't think Blake's got a pretty good chance.
I think he does too. I really do.
Yeah. But JP, he just sometimes he beat me once already this year, so I avenged that.
Oh, I know what
unbelievable loss.
I know what I did wrong here. I knew there was some confusion here in my notes because I was going, man, I was sure that it changed down below here, and it did change down below. Moves like Yager is actually in 6th
he's
spot.
up. Yeah,
they're 5-12-3 for 13 points. They moved out of the bottom 4, and they are now out of it because now the Outlaws at 3-12-5 for 11 points are now in the bottom 4 again. And
that's right.
Nick had a really bad week going 1-1. He beat Sealand. Ouch. 5-2. And then
21 points. You get 21 plus points. I don't know what he finished, but he at least 21.
Yeah. And then you took care of him pretty good, 5-1. So at least
it was a battle. It was a battle. He's lucky he played me because he could have won that easy. If Quick plays or Quick lost what?
I wasn't even following that. I was following your other game.
Oh,
I just assumed you'd win that game. So
and that's never assuming anything.
I know.
Quick, I only won 4-3, and the percentage was tight too. And then Quick lost 5-1 on Saturday. I'm like, well, that solidified it. But if say Quick gets not even a shutout, say Quick wins 3-1, and then he's above me in goalie points, and his probably a percentage is higher, and then he wins that week. Yeah, so it was tight, and he got 21 points. And his my plus minus, I don't understand it, but his plus minus was +8 or +9 that week.
But like we were talking before the podcast, he should have a better time tanking now after that trade.
Well, he must have panicked and then like, I will trade these 5 guys for anybody. Give me,
Well,
and again, you got Drysdale. I love him. But
remember last
Thomas,
year? Remember last year? I didn't panic. I was always on that border. Remember the 4-4-5 line?
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
kept saying,
You
"Oh,
stay
I
true.
think
You stay
I'm
true.
too good. I'm too good." And I was so close to trying to weaken
Mhm.
myself even more, but I didn't want to because
And
I
you
knew
didn't.
next year, and I didn't. I hung to it,
Yeah.
and I still
Yeah.
got in there, and it got me Panarin. So
And you
all
got
well
you a
worth it.
great player. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Can't go wrong there.
maybe I won't say, I'm not going to say Nick. I don't want to say anything bad about that or Nick Panic or whatever. That he did trade away a lot of good players, and he got back Drysdale, awesome. He's going to sign him for 5 years, and Thomas, who maybe last year was the blip in his career. Hopefully for Nick's sake, because he wasn't a good last year, and he's hurt again this year.
Yeah.
So maybe that's good for his tanking, but I feel like Nick could have got something maybe more. But
Oh well. That's
Oh, well.
it looks like it's Dean's gain.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure.
And it's like Nick's gain, if you want to say it just for the tanking purposes, because he's now definitely going to make it in the bottom 4 because his team is, who's he got? I mean, if you can find a way to like get a goalie to get quick out of there, and then
Yeah.
he's just for sure. Then you'll get like 3 points a week and no goalie points. He's in the bottom 4. And then he's guaranteed. I don't know who's he guaranteed. Is he guaranteed Matthews or Marner?
I think Marner.
Who's going 4th? Marner?
I think Marner.
Man, I would take Marner. I'd take Marner 4th. I'd rather Marner than Matthews.
I in some ways I would too.
I would.
It's a tough call. You're gonna do good either way.
Oh, and that's like
Yeah.
the beauty of the.
So I'm guessing
Even-
you figured
even-
out who the 5th best pick is. Who is it?
Ooh, have I figured that out? That's tough. I think. Wow, you put me on the spot. I like.
I
Huberdeau's
just
pretty
want to
damn
know
good.
if they're close to being in that same category as the top 4.
I think they're a notch below,
A notch below.
but
Yeah.
but not crazy low, because like it's like a Scheifele, it's Huberdeau,
Oh
Crosby.
yeah. No, that's not that far below. Yeah. Yeah.
No, not at all. Like,
No,
well,
those
let
are some
me.
good hockey players.
All right.
Oh.
Give me a half second here, and I could pull up the whole
No.
list.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it's right here. So it's like a Patch Ready, Crosby, Rantanen. Oh, sorry,
Crosby.
Rantanen.
I forgot about
Do
Crosby.
you take Rantanen over any? Oh, you go Rantanen.
Rantanen, geez.
You go him
Rant-
up.
Oh,
That's tough. Marchand. If Marchand was 28, he is in the top 4. He's a little
Yeah.
older. If he's 28 or younger, I take him over Matthews for sure. And
yeah.
maybe Marner.
I would have him at 3rd overall because of the
Yeah.
penalty minutes and everything in that
I
too.
think so too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the next 4 is like Scheifele, Pacioretty, Marchand, and Huberdeau.
Right.
I'll take all 4 of them.
All 4 of them? You want all 4 of them?
I'll take them all. Rantanen, did I say him? Maybe I didn't. Say
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Rantanen.
And then you got then
Rantanen
Hellebuck.
could
You like-
almost
you
be
like
top
both?
4. Oh, is
I
Hellebuck
think so
up too?
Hellebuck is up.
So
Yeah.
Hellebuck and Vasilevsky.
Jack Campbell, who apparently is the best goalie in the world now,
Oh,
is up.
that's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Yes.
But he's
I-
not good enough to make the USA Olympic team.
Is that right?
Yeah, they didn't even
That's
invite him. He's not even one of the top 3. Oh,
Who'd they
Toronto.
take?
Toronto is not happy about that. They're not happy about that.
Who'd they take? Quick, Hellebuck, and Gibson?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. Yeah, Gibson.
So then you got Crosby in the so not the first 4, not the second. You got Crosby in the
Yeah.
third 4.
Yeah, you're even if you get caught outside the bottom 4, you're still going to
Oh.
be fine. You're still going to be
Like I
fine.
said, first 2 rounds are unreal.
But also, what's going to help those bottom 4 guys is that second round as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
that's
when you
where,
get like a sneaky like Scheifele. We're like,
yeah,
he had a kind of a down year, but then you take him in, and you're just happy. You're just
man. If Scheifele, I'll tell you what, If I don't trade my first rounder, there's no way Shifley's making it to the second round because I know I'll be a later pick. And I mean,
Yeah.
anything over 8 for Shifley and he's mine.
You click it too fast. You might misclick
Really?
and it might hurt.
Yeah.
And like, well, no, you're going
Yeah.
Shifley.
Yeah. It's true.
Because I think I don't want to like I'm not in the top. I don't have a first round pick, but Huberdeau, I'm very high on him. And some people don't know him a lot, right? He's in Florida, right? So I know you know him, and I know Renee because he's had him for so long. But because and he dropped to Renee 4 or 5 years ago, and he went to the
second
10th or
round,
11th,
right? 17th, I believe he was, because I was taking him number 2 or 3 in the second round, and Renee scooped him just before me. Just before me.
So
yeah.
So
and then he did the same thing in the other draft the same year.
Huberdeau.
Yeah, I was right behind him, and he got Huberdeau again on me. And
you should trade it up. You can
What's
trade up. You can trade your picks up.
Oh,
that's what me and JP did. He traded up to get my 6th, and I went back to 10.
I thought Huberdeau was my nice little secret, but at that time, that was 5 years ago, right? So at that time, I thought
because he was hurt too, right? He was hurt that one season.
No,
really. That's at least in ours, he was hurt most of that season, and then you picked him up like in February or January when he was getting healthy, and he just was super good.
That's true.
And then he was in the draft.
Yeah,
and then that's when Renee picked him up.
Second round though. That's kind of crazy. All right, so
if we didn't talk about him, he could go down there again.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
But now everybody knows about him.
Yeah,
he's the best player. You take him out.
So anyway, bringing up the ranks from the Langway division is our other co-commish, Al Gull. The Capitals actually got really lucky this week that they didn't beat the Wolfpack. And they tied the Wolfpack 3-3 to grab a point, something that Al did not want. And Sealand barely beat him. He would have won that game if Stolarz hadn't put up a 950 and got 2 points. When does Arizona ever win? Al got super lucky. He should have walked away with this week with 1 win and tie.
Anaheim, Terry, not Arizona. Stolarz is in Anaheim.
Oh, that's right too. He was in Arizona at one time.
He was there. He was in Philadelphia.
He's been everywhere, but I know he was in Arizona at one time too. Yeah. He's been all over, that guy. Anaheim. So that was big for Al, or else he walks away 1-0-1 for the week.
And that just speaks to like Sealand's teeter-totter. Yeah, he's top 5 in the Langway, but is he? I still think he's a playoff team.
So basically, if he doesn't have that one game from Stolarz on the Sunday, he loses to the Capitals, and to a 12 points he got.
I know.
Would he no, he wouldn't be in the playoffs. Well,
like you and Steve have more points at that point.
No, he would be out. He would be out because he would be tied with us. Yeah. He'd be tied with both me and Bo.
I think you look back even last week. I don't know what the Sealand's point.
He didn't do good last week.
It was not good.
He had a rough week too as well, but the goaltenders obviously didn't help. But having the no goaltenders didn't cause him to lose any games last week.
No.
So
his team did.
It's not like if he had won both goaltending categories, he would have won either game.
No, he still would have lost.
Yeah.
So, but there's some good news. I saw that Quentin Byfield's must be healthy, and he's getting called up to the Kings this week, which they're not playing any games. So I saw him like, hey, he's getting called up to the Kings. Are they playing any games? No, that's interesting. But maybe he's healthy. Maybe he can put in the lineup.
Maybe
that could be a bonus. But his team.
All right, so let's wrap up the Langway division in a Christmas bow here. The Bruins made a big push this week to get on top at 31 points. The Mustangs jumped over top of the Rangers to grab second spot in the Langway with 30 points, only 1 point behind the Bruins and the Rangers, who had the rough week, but still not out of it, are only 3 points behind the Bruins at 28 points, going 14-6. Bad week, going 0-2. Sealand also starting to slide a little bit, but we're only 1-1, so it wasn't too bad, but they barely got that win. They could have easily been 0-2 for the week. The Wolfpack still playing solid hockey. They're you don't really see the Wolfpack have an 0-2 week. They're 1-0-1 this week, as the Wolfpack won an important game against the Rangers 4-3, and they also tied the Capitals 3-3. So that left Bo at 1-0-1 for 23 points, 1 point behind Sealand. And then there's a huge fall off once we go down to sixth spot, which would be Moose Like Jagger with 13 points.
Cliff.
Yeah. And then the Outlaws with 11 points. However, the Outlaws moved themselves into the bottom 4 and followed up by Mr. Al Gull at 14-2 for 10 points. So we're going to go to the Bossy division now. It's time to talk a little bit about the Bossy, and some things happened in the Bossy division this week too. Not the dramatic movement that we had in the Langway division, but we got some stuff to talk about in the Bossy division.
I'm interested. I don't know what it is, but I'm very interested.
All right. Let's talk first off about the Harrison Lakers, who've just been absolutely dominating the league and this division. They are now 18-1-1 for 37 points, going 2-0. The Lakers beat the Islanders handily 5-2, and they beat Pitter Patter 6-1, which are the 3rd and 4th place teams in the Bossy right now.
Good job. I'm not. That's all I'm saying.
You know,
that's it.
You got no input on Renee?
No, nothing. Good job.
Well, I got some input on Renee.
All right,
I got some input on this game. This was my week to take Renee. I really should have won this game. I had this game, and but let me also clarify this. To start the week, at the start of the week on Sunday night, I had one injured player, but by the time they played a game, they were healthy.
Monday.
But by the time Monday came along, I was 8 guys short. Not teams. Individual, you are in COVID. You are in COVID. You
is that right?
In COVID. Yes. And then a couple of injuries, one to Panarin. And it all happened like Monday night. So I played pretty much the entire week with 12 players. Now, I will give it back to Renee on Saturday night. He had a full roster almost. He might have had 2 or 3 people not playing. And on that Saturday night, only 1 player played.
Oh, that's tough.
So, but mind you, I only had 5 players play. And I outpointed him on a Saturday night 2-1 for me to take the lead over him. And then he just exploded on Sunday because Max Pacioretty fights all the time. Oh, yes. And he started the week with a 14-minute penalty from 1 player. I spent the entire week chasing him. I caught up to him on Sunday night, 18 apiece. So you basically got 4 penalty minutes the rest of the week. But there we are, tied at 18 apiece. And of course, Max Pacioretty, who always fights, gets into a fight with Kiefer Bellows.
Oh, 2 big fighters. 2 huge goons just fighting every day. That's what happens. You should have known that would happen.
So the pimp category should have been mine. I'm just very disappointed. It was
4-3. You were up. Were you not up at some point?
I was up. I was up Saturday going into Sunday. I was up 4-3 going into Sunday.
Yeah.
And
then I looked back and it was like 5-2. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yep. I had a whole bunch out. So
well, it's nice to
played
see,
him tough.
It's nice to see Renee get lucky. Like he always falls on the short end of the luck stick. So it's nice to see him get lucky in one week.
How many beer you had tonight?
Well, a couple and some vodkas.
So anyway, Renee just keeps rolling, 2-0. It's going to be tough to catch him I guess it won't be that tough to catch him. Well, you're 6 points behind.
Oh, I'm far behind.
It's not really that far. It's only a week and a half if everything goes your way.
It's miles behind there.
Yeah, it is. But
you got to factor in that maybe he's lucky all the rest of the season because he's never lucky ever. So
Could be.
maybe
Never know.
you got to factor that in too. But
That's right. That's right. He's got to have everything
I don't
going his way.
I don't know how he doesn't lose.
Well, it still remains to be seen. I haven't given that cup to anybody yet. Still up for grabs.
Not this year.
Not this year. Not this year.
But you will.
I will. I'll give it to somebody, but it won't. It could be anybody as of now. Well, won't be the
it's not gonna be
Capitals.
Dan.
Won't be the Capitals. Won't be the Highlanders. Won't be Moose Lake.
It's not gonna be Nick. It's not gonna be Garrow. It's not gonna be Steve.
No.
Sorry, boys.
And then okay, so there's not really a lot to say about Renee. He just keeps winning.
No.
So we'll
Get
just
there.
move on to the East
Always
Coast
get there.
Brewers,
Always get there.
who bounced back. If you remember, they lost a couple. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember, but they
Yeah,
went 0-2 one
yeah.
week there. But they bounced back real nice this week, going. They are now 14-6-0 for 28 points, which is 9 points behind the Lakers. It was an easy week for East Coast Brewers, but they took care of business where they had to and went 2-0 by beating the Flames 7-0, and they beat the Gators 7-0.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Wes and his playoff hopes for that 7-0 loss to the East Coast Brewers, but he's only 3 points back. Let's say he was in a Langley, he's only 3 points back from me, so he's in the race with us, right? Like me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Keith and Dean and
well, he's tied with
like
Dean, so he's right there.
Yeah,
which means
he's just in the wrong division to compete for a first overall in the division because he's got to go in.
It was really funny too. It was really funny too because I noticed Keith in the last couple of podcasts kept trying to tell me how your division was beating up on our division. And I actually looked at it, and most of the teams, a lot of the teams in the Bossy division have a better record against the Langway division than they do against their own division.
Now, is that factual? Or are you just making that up?
No, I actually scooted on through it, but to know for 100% sure, you'll have to drift your way through there tonight and figure it out for yourself. There's a little bit of addition and subtraction you got to do in there, because when you see they did 7-3 in their own division, then you got to take their whole record minus the 7
minus
and the
7 minus the 3,
and then you'll have what they did against the other league.
That's too much. I believe it. I believe it.
But I actually did that, so hey, good on me.
So the Bossy's doing all right.
No, not really. They're still the weaker division, but hey, this isn't over yet. We're just hitting the halfway point right now, man. Just hitting the halfway point right now.
No,
this week, that's not actually happening.
Yeah. And so, like, Brewers beat up on West, which again hurts West.
Hurts West for sure.
And then they beat up on who? Al?
No, the Gators. On Blake.
Blake was happy about that for sure.
Yep.
Blake was just loving every loss.
Yes.
And he did well. He wanted the 2 wins. He wasn't tested. Like Wes, he's not getting there for the points, eh? Like he's just not.
No.
I think Brewers had a good week plus or points though wise. Like he had a above, like for a short week with COVID, he still had I think he was 30 plus.
Yeah.
He
as a matter of fact, I think he was the second highest or the highest.
I think so. I think he was too.
I think he was the highest in points.
And his goalies were good, and his Pims were good. And
West
can beat a lot.
He had 34 points, and Lakers had 34 points.
Yeah, and then West could beat a lot of teams, but when your team's firing on all the goalies and goalie points and the plus minus, West could beat players, but he needs teams that have a little weakness in 1 or 2 categories, and he lost, and then Brewers beat up on Gators, who are AHL team. So,
all right,
good job.
So, who's in third place?
You.
Yes, I am. Courtney Islanders, for the first time this year, are in a legit playoff spot, sitting in third spot in the Bossy division. And they didn't have a perfect week either. They went 1-1. I just explained to you what happened to them against the Lakers, where I really thought I was going to win that one, but I didn't. And then of course I took care of the one team that you have to take care of, the Highlanders. And the
Yeah.
Islanders beat the Highlanders 7-0.
Great rhyming matchup. Not so good competition wise because you beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching that game between you and Renee, and I was like, he's got a shot, and then he
Yeah.
just
The Islanders certainly didn't help me.
no.
I'll put it
That's
that way.
that's part of your problem, right? Like there's teams who were heavy with teams. You were heavy with Islanders, like
Yeah.
Bo's heavy with the Rangers,
Yeah.
and the Rangers score some more points than the
Yeah.
Islanders do.
Yeah.
And
That's all right.
if you want
It's
to
a
trade
lot.
Barzell to somebody, or you want to trade up like you got some good, like you got good Islanders, but like
Yeah.
they just
Hey, I'm
you're going
willing
through
to
a little
trade
fluke right now.
anybody. I'm willing to trade anybody. I mean, Bo tried to palm Palmieri off on me like 3 times.
And you didn't bite.
No, I didn't bite.
Well, you had too many. I'm like,
I had
you
too
got too
many
many
to start
Islanders.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not like that's. There's no way you're doing
You
that.
should have kept the faith, Bo.
Oh,
You shouldn't have added him as a trade-in because he's going to eventually start scoring.
I agree. I love Palmieri. I think he's great. But how like I watched that podcast last week, and you're talking about how you're gonna start loosening up the purse strings, and you're gonna
Yeah.
start like buying out players.
Yep.
And I start laughing, and then, all of a
then
sudden
Bo
you
trades
realize,
me for
no,
Kotkaniemi.
no, you realize it like mid sentence. You're like, oh, I shouldn't be talking about this. I should try to trade
Yes. Yes, I did.
my ass. I laughed my ass off, and then you can see like you're starting to go,
and then
you're like,
in come the requests for Kotkaniemi trades after that podcast, right? And I'm like, oh man.
well, you're like
that wasn't
because
smart.
because you said Pollock, and then Keith's like, oh, Pollock. You're like, well, no, not Pollock. And then he said, you know I'm serious about Kotkaniemi or whatever.
Yeah.
And then and then you're like, that's when you're like, oh, I shouldn't be talking about him. I should maybe try to trade him. And you know what? Maybe I'll keep Kotkaniemi. He's a good player. I love him. He's like my son now. I don't think I'd trade him for anything. And I was just laughing. Man, that was funny though.
Got me a goal and assist last game.
Oh, he played well last week, but it was just like,
yeah, I know.
You said it, and then all of a sudden you're like,
blew it. Yeah.
And then you started backtracking.
Realize, yeah.
I loved it. Oh man, I cried. I cried when I saw that.
I blew her on that one. So anyway,
Yeah.
the Islanders are sitting at 10-8-2 for 22 points in second place, and right behind them is Pitter Patter with the identical record of 10-8-2 for 22 points. However, Pitter Patter is out of a playoff spot due to the fancy rule breaker, which would put the Islanders ahead of Pitter Patter. So Pitter Patter had a rough week. They went 0-1-1. They lost to the Lakers, which is understandable. Pretty much everybody does. But they ended up tying flying colors 3-3.
And that's a pretty good grudge match between two, I don't want to say mediocre. Mediocre sounds rude. Two teams in the middle of the bossy division. Let's say that. Two teams vying for the middle of the bossy division. Because I don't know what they're trying to do. I think I understand. Actually, I understand Steve. Steve, he doesn't have his first or his second, so he might as well just compete. Right?
Absolutely.
He's just might as well just compete. But Garrow, who's next after that, at 8, 10, or whatever, we'll get there. Well, you can talk about him after, I guess. But like, so I understand. We're at Steve. Steve wants to compete. He didn't have a good week, and that's too bad. But his team, he can beat the bad players, and or bad teams, and he shouldn't beat the good teams. And if he does beat the good teams, then he's got like he overreached, and that's good for him next year because that means like he hopefully keeps most of those guys and he drafts well. And,
he means he's close, and he just needs a few more pieces. That's all.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, I'll talk about flying colors then in fifth place. I just jokingly, what was it, 2 weeks ago when Garrow fell 4 games behind 500, I said, well, he's finally done with this 500 thing, but man, no. Garrow loves the 500, and right now he is currently 9, 10, and 1 for 19 points. It's going to be hard to get a 500 record with an odd number of ties. So you're going to need another tie, Garrow, to get 500. You're so close to 500, only 1 point away. I didn't even think that was possible. I still don't know what I've never been able to figure out Garrow's team the entire year. So I've been trying, but I just can't. So anyway, Garrow went 1-0-1. He beat the Gators, who he was supposed to beat 6-1. And of course, we were just talking about the pitter patter and flying colors tie.
Tie. Yeah. I feel like he would have like, I don't know. The same with you. I feel like he probably should have wanted to lose to Steve. So he goes, but I mean, he's not getting that bottom, right? So I guess he's not getting the bottom. You might as well compete. But
Yeah.
could you get to the bottom?
Yeah, but the problem is,
I don't know.
so yeah, but when you say something like that, if you're in the 8th spot, you say, oh,
Yeah.
well, you might as well compete. Now you're talking about your draft pick. Now you go from the favorite to get the 5th draft pick to probably the guy who's going to get the 12th draft pick.
If you trade away guys and try to get down, you mean?
No,
Is that what you're talking about?
Just by making the playoffs.
He's not going to make the playoffs.
I know, but you were saying, so you might as well compete to try and make the playoffs.
But like
right? So, but it is still huge because now you're talking, who was that 5th player again? Between Marner and
Rantanen and Marner,
you know, like so
and Huberdeau. And
so if you finish in 8th place, you are the favorite for the 5th round pick.
True, that's true. Right? So maybe he's just like holding pattern.
If you're the 8th team to make the playoffs, odds are you're going to walk away with 12th overall pick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he's not making it, so that's not. Yeah. It's just like, what do you do? You just sit back and not do anything for the rest of the season and just see how like. He's not making the playoffs.
I think that's
probably. And he's not getting to the bottom 4.
No.
So you just sit back and relax and maybe see if you can get a couple more longer year guys for a couple, like say like a good 2-year guy for a good 3-year guy where you might think he's going to produce next year, and I don't know. You just wait and see.
If Garrow is competing, it's a great week because he won and he tied a team that's right above him. So 1-0-1 would be a great week if he is trying to make the playoffs. Then it's a great week. If he's not, it's a bad week.
I don't know. So, that's maybe he chimes in one of these times and lets us know.
One of these days.
He opens up the door and lets us know.
Yeah. Need to get him on a podcast. All right, so that brings us to another interesting team for the Islanders, and that's the Flames of Fleury. 5-12-3 for 13 points. They are currently at this moment in time. Yep.
It's on you for 2 seconds.
Yep. They're currently at this time 9 points out of a playoff spot. So basically to make up 9 points, that would mean that whoever West needs to catch, they would have to lose every game for a month, and he would have to win every game for a month. And since there's really only 10 more weeks after this week, that is half the time period if everything just went perfect for him to be able to get into a playoff spot. So it's looking pretty bleak for West right now, being that 9 points out. He took care of the team that he had to take care of. The Flames of Fleury beat the Highlanders 7-0, and it's the only way Dan knows how to lose. 7-0. He goes all out. Yep. And the Brewers easily beat the Flames 7-0. So he went from one extreme to the other extreme with the win and a loss.
It's if you put that, like say it's Flames, Highlanders, and then Flames, whatever. It's a palindrome, right? 7-0-0-7. I've been drinking all day.
That's okay because you froze and we lost everything you said anyway. So
the pause, we good?
Yeah. There you are. Oh well. Oop.
I was just saying it was a palindrome. It was 7-0-7.
Yeah.
Like meeting, whatever. It was a poor attempt. It was a poor attempt at humor because I'm on vacation.
You're allowed to be on vacation. You're allowed to enjoy.
Yeah. But I like that you said that he has to win
every game for a month.
It sounds more like
weeks.
Which is possible.
Everything's mathematically possible.
Exactly.
Until it's not.
That's the Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
But I still like Wes should definitely compete until he thinks like his red line, like there's a line where it's like the no-go line or like the fuel out line, or you can only go so far. He should compete until he thinks he can't, and then obviously maybe it's by the trade deadline or something,
Well,
and then maybe trade away guys to get back some
I
whatever.
was 7 points behind Steve. Now we're
Exactly.
tied.
Exactly.
So it
So
can
he
be
should
done.
not be get. He's definitely not giving up, and he shouldn't give up. But
Yeah.
there's a point where he has to go or no go, and
Yeah.
and at that point he has to, trade away McDavid or trade away whomever to get what he can get. Because
Right.
you should try to get somebody. Because he doesn't have his first, he doesn't have his second, he's got his third. So you don't want to go low. So you want to try to stay at least in the middle eight, if not the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go to the bottom four, because the bottom four, then you're just that's a terrible thing for us all. That's a terrible thing for us all. But he might as well compete until the last point, and then until then, if he's not in 2 or 3 points away from a playoff spot, then trade away McDavid and maybe a Taylor Hall or somebody else and get a first, or like a first in the prospect or something.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's the plan. That's
That
all
would
it
be
is.
the plan for him. But so anyway, I can't go a week about talking about the Flames of Fleury without
Wait.
talking. Oh, what?
What was your Garrow thing? I thought you said you had a Garrow thing. Oh, was it because he was almost 500?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? All right, sorry.
Yeah, because he was 4 games under, man. I thought, okay, finally he's done it now, man. That's
I thought
it.
maybe he did something like it was like we got to talk about it, like he's getting kicked.
Well, he kind of did, because he went 1-0-1, so he is definitely in the playoff race right now. He is in the playoff race. He's only 4 points out of a playoff spot.
Good luck to you, Garrow. Good luck.
That's 1 week of 2-0, and your competition going 0-2.
And I think he can do it.
You never know. You never know. Anyway, as I was saying, going back to the Flames, I cannot come by the Flames without talking about my favorite fan, Jillian. No, Jillian,
nice.
that way. And this is what happens when you have a fan. They drop over these cupcakes for you, and I gotta tell you, they are absolutely delish.
Man, I wish me or Al are there. We could have one ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Al's back in Vancouver, and I'm halfway across the country in Ontario.
Delicious. And once again, that was from Jillian. You'll see when I put
nailed it, Terry.
You'll see it when I put up the graphics. Jillian.
I can see it. I can see it in my. I can see it in my mind's eye. That's beautiful. Did I pause again, or is that just hello? Hey, I'm back.
I'm here. I'm
back.
here.
Yeah.
I just got a full mouth.
Well, I know. I think, but I was talking, and you're like, you talk. I'm like, Terry, I haven't stopped talking for the last minute. You just can't hear me. I was just saying that Jillian, it's gonna be great. I can see it in my mind's eye.
Yeah,
I can see
it's
the
just
names and glitter and sparkles and rainbows, maybe. Yeah.
I do it backwards. This is the way I need to do it. No, because it's gonna go flipping from. It's gonna go from this. No, it's gonna go that way.
See, this is the behind the scenes. This is like
how do I?
If you buy the DVD set, this is what you get.
So
this is the stuff.
So I should have my hand here like this, and then just go, Jillian. Yeah, that'll work perfect. That'll work.
Maybe not that voice. Maybe a more masculine voice.
I thought that was pretty masculine, wasn't it?
Was it?
I thought
that's your sex. That's your masculine voice. Hey, if that's what you got, that's okay, man.
Let's try it again. Jillian.
Oh, and you hit the microphone. I like it. Now you smack that thing. That's good.
Smack it. All right. So anyway, Wes definitely has his work cut out for him. It's now or never with the 2-0s. It's time. He needs to start putting up. He needs to put up 2-0s. And I don't know how he's going to do it, because when you keep running into teams like you and the Rangers and the Lakers, that's when it makes it really hard to put a stretch like that together, right?
We got to figure. So who are the really good teams that probably shouldn't get beat too often? Me,
Renee,
Callwood, yourself, Renee.
Oh no, not me yet. I'm so injured, it's unreal. I've got like 8 injuries right now.
Too late. You're still in it. So me, you, Renee, Dono, Dean. I still put like Keith isn't like he's still like in the bowl. I don't think he can, but he can beat Sealand. He can beat Pitter Patter. He can beat Garrow. He can beat all the rest. So how many we got? We got 16 in there. So that's 5. He could beat 10. He could win 10 games or 10.
Yeah,
He
that's
could
true.
beat 10
That's
teams,
a month right there.
right? That's
Yeah.
He could beat 10 teams.
Yeah. And that's
So
what
he's
he's
not
got to
out.
do.
Hey,
For me to get back up, I had to go. What would I go? I went 10 and no, I went 11-3. That's how I got back up. In my last 14 games, I've gone 11.
That's pretty good. That's a good run.
And
That's
that's
good
just
stat. I like
got
that- I like
that's
that.
just got me to the bottom of the playoff picture.
Yeah, but you're not. You're not.
I was
I mean, and
I was 1-5-2.
You had a shitty start. You were the worst. It was garbage. I had no idea what the hell you were doing down there. You were a pretender the whole time. I didn't understand it.
All right, so let's go down to way down south to Florida. Let's talk about the Florida Gators in
Hey.
7th spot. 3-17-0 for 6 points. I cannot remember the last time this team won a game. And so that just means they're having a great tank week. They lost to the Flying Colors 6-1, and the Brewers easily took care of them 7-0.
He was 3-5, or was he? He wasn't 3-3, right? He was 3-5, maybe I think. And then he just like I think he won games to get to 3-5, and then he just went. Was that 12?
I can find out how long his losing streak is right now.
Because remember this is kind of thing that happened last year with me, right? I think I was 3-0, or no, it was like 3-3, and then I just lost every game for the rest.
Yes,
of the whole
yes.
thing.
Yeah, we're 3-3, I believe. Let's see.
Until
Actually, the Gators are topping the Highlanders right now. They have a 13-game losing streak going, and the Highlanders only have a 12-game losing streak going. So
that's weak, Dan. That's
Yeah.
weak.
yeah, weak.
You must
Dan.
be losing your
Yeah,
losing your. He must have like tied or lost who would he have beaten?
Me. He beat me.
Dan beat you?
Yes.
What?
When I went
How long ago?
1-5-2.
Oh, back when you were
Yeah, week 1, I think. I think
pretending.
week 1 he beat me.
So what's his record? He's 1-14-1.
1-18-1. Or who are we talking
He's
about?
only-
Which one?
Dan, yeah,
Dan?
Dan.
1-18-1.
And he's only 12 in. He's only like a 12-game losing streak.
Yeah, I think he tied a game in there somewhere.
Hmm. Wow.
13 games
That's
ago,
not-
he tied a game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he still headed Blake in the tanking. Blake's like
Yes,
3
yes.
17.
Yeah.
It's
So
still good.
we,
Good job, Blake. Way to suck.
yeah. Good job, Blake. So we might as well talk about the Highlanders now at 1-18-1 for 3 points. And obviously Dan's checked out and is probably drinking a whole lot of booze for the Christmas holidays, enjoying it, having a good
Yep.
time. And he went 0-2, and he loses the only way he knows how to lose, and that's 7-0. He lost to the Islanders 7-0, and he lost to the Flames 7-0. So well done, Dan.
We are unsure if he's on his way to Comox. He said he was
Yes.
supposed to come out. So
Yes, I forgot about
maybe-
that. I'll be looking forward to that. Sounds like a whistle stop trip. to
maybe
me.
yeah, because I'm back on the 25th. So maybe me, you, Wes.
Let us know in the comments below. Dan,
Yeah.
are you coming or not?
We think he's coming, but either way, his team still sucks, and he's losing like he wants to. So, good job,
All
Dan.
right, so let's wrap a bow onto the Bossy division here. Harrison Lakers leading the way with 37 points. The Brewers way back at 28 points, but look very solid in the second spot.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
in
good
third
team.
spot is the Islanders with 22 points, and Pitter Patter is also tied with them. However, the tiebreaker going to the Islanders, so they would get the playoff spot. Pitter Patter at this moment is not in a playoff spot. Then they are followed by Flying Colors, who's making a bit of a miraculous comeback, going 1-0-1 this week, getting up to 19 points, and is only 4 points out of a playoff spot now. The Flames, it was rough for them. They won one big, lost one big, and are 9 points out of a playoff spot right now with 13 points. Then another huge drop off to the Gators at 6 points and the Highlanders at 3.
That's a hell of a wrap up, Terry. You did well.
Well, thanks, buddy. So
You're welcome.
maybe it's time to go visit our favorite lady.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I'm only friends with her. I think you might have more of a
Oh, there's
deeper
more. Like
relationship.
there's shit going on between me and Fancy for sure. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. You've
Hopefully you sponge down and clean up that area when Al gets there. Because
Well, have you never heard of Fancy with benefits?
I have not, and I will not.
Well, not only did things shake up in the standings, which at this time of year, there's not a lot of standings movement, but this was one of the biggest shakeups I've seen halfway through the season in a week, where like the College
Really?
Rangers went to third
Yeah.
and two teams went up. You went up from second to first, and Keith went from third to second.
Yeah.
And then moves like Jagger fell out of the bottom four to
Yeah. Moving up,
JP.
fighting his way
Yeah,
up.
there was a lot of stuff that went down this week, and there is also some movement in the fancy stats.
Ooh,
Yes.
let's see it. Let's see it.
Ooh, yes.
I'm excited, but not as excited as you are.
So, yeah, coming in fifth spot once again is the Port
Boho.
Elgin Wolfpack at 90, 47, and 13 for 193 points.
I think that's an improvement. I don't know. It's tough to remember. From
Yeah,
last week.
no, he had a good week. He had a good week.
Yeah, and then, oh yeah, we didn't even talk about his trade. What did he got? You got rid of my first round pick, round pick, and he got Mantha back.
Yeah.
Who hopefully he's healthy. For He, who's a prospect who can't help him, but maybe he signs him. Maybe you sign them both. I don't know. And Tuck.
Verhage was an Islander and we let him go. He just never made it out of our AHL team. Now look at him.
There's a lot of players like that though, right? Like look at I always go back to that Vegas team, but like who would have thought Riley Smith and Carlson and Marchessault? It's like it's the NHL. If you don't get the opportunity in the top two lines, then you're pigeonholed.
Yeah.
So Verhage playing like in Florida just scores goals. I don't like for the last couple of years, right? Like
yeah.
I mean, obviously it helps with Barkov and Huberdeau and they picked up Reinhardt and Bennett and Duclair. He put Duclair there. He's scoring points. Verhage scoring points. I don't like they're very much a run and gun team.
Yeah, so
Bennett
is fit in real nice with those guys.
Yeah, like he was not good until he went there.
Well, yeah, but that was his big complaint in Calgary, is because they said they wouldn't give him. He said they wouldn't give him the opportunity.
Exactly,
right?
Give him the goddamn opportunity. They were too busy giving it to like Monahan, and I'm not sure what happened to Monahan.
Oh, talk about a guy falling off the cliff, eh? Monahan.
Just can he come back? Do you trade him? Does he do anything somewhere else? Like he's talented, right? He's talented.
He was.
So
I say was because I'm not sure he's going to get better again.
There's players who don't, right? There's players who don't, and there's players who do. And I think he was too talented not to. But he's not like it's the first line is your boy, right? Kachuk and Goudreau and
yeah,
that's a good first line.
Yeah.
And then you get that whatever. But anyway, so we're talking about Bo and we're talking about Florida. So the trade he made, it depends. Like I don't know if Mantha's supposed to come back in January, but I don't know if he's even like that's what he said projected January 2nd, but
it doesn't matter. So with games being canceled and that the beauty of it is like I lost a guy like Brock Nelson for quite some time, and I have him in the other league.
Brock November. And what's he at now? Brock December.
Yeah. But now I'm going to get a lot of the games back that he never would have played because he would have been injured, right?
Yeah. See, that was smart by you.
There's that going on too as well. So anyway,
he made a trade and who's fourth?
Yeah, who's in fourth? I'll tell you. Last week it was the East Coast Brewers.
I guess it's got to be Dean.
You would be correct. The Colwood Rangers have fallen from second spot all the way down to fourth. Fancy just gave him a spanking this week. Rangers now sitting at 113.
Hey, that's for Terry. That's not you, Dean. That's for Terry.
113, 30, and 7 for 233 points.
Jesus, what was Bo at?
Bo was at 90, 47, and 13 for 193.
Wow, that's a big difference.
That's a 30-point gap. That would be one entire undefeated week while you had no wins.
That's insane.
15
and it's only going to get worse because you just picked up 4 great players and a great prospect goalie, and he only gave up like Never he gave up. So that's crazy. Yeah. No, Dean, he's a force, and he won't stay down there long.
But we
Will not.
actually had a tie here because the East Coast Brewers, who are 114,
See?
31,
Tie
and
with
5,
Dono?
are 233 points.
Oh, he's tied with Dean. Okay.
Yeah. Except Dono gets the tiebreaker because he's got 114 wins against 113. So identical in points at 233. I think Dono has been strong the whole year. Yeah, you can come on in, Sonia.
And then pause to get Terry. Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me? We're good.
I can hear you. Yeah. There, you're back again.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. All right.
Hello,
So
Sonia. How are you?
we were talking about yeah, it's Ryan. We were talking about the Brewers and the Rangers being all tied up. Can you hear me now? It sounds like I'm breaking up.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, it was my, I don't know what's going on. Port Elgin, the sticks, man. You don't know about the internet. We just got it last week.
So Dono's been doing pretty good with he's been really consistent this year. He's been,
so Dono and Dean are tied. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 233 points. What?
Yeah, I don't think Dono's team, like he's a definitely, like he's got, like his forwards are unreal. Wow, I say unreal, like it's like his forwards are great. I don't know how he does him wise, because I don't think he's got forwards who also are mucking it up. He should really, because his D isn't good. He should really focus on like the what's that guy? Who's that guy from Ottawa? Borowetsky, or the hell that guy's name is.
Oh
or
no,
like,
he's gone. He's somewhere else now.
Does he? Well, that's what
he's in Nashville, I think. And yeah, he has a new leaf in life not to get fighting anymore. No more fights for him because he's gotten concussed really bad. So his point totals went way down, or PIM totals have went way down.
But he should, like, because his forwards are really good. So he should be, his D, who are never good, historically good. You can look back 8 years or 7 years, how long this league's been around. His D has been garbage.
He usually needs to draft six defensemen almost every single year.
So you pick up 6 guys who are goons, and that should take care of the goon category, right? And then that's like, I don't want to tell you to do your team, Dono. You got, I'll give you this advice. And if I'm ever out in the East Coast and speeding, maybe give me a pass. So I'm giving you this advice. Pick up some goons.
Pick up some goons? I don't think Dono's that bad in the I don't think he's that bad in the PIM department, is he?
Well, he could be better.
Oh, okay. There you go, Dono. You got some free advice there. Ryan's just free advice. Pick up some goons, man. Get some goons.
But it's not free, because if I'm out in the East Coast and you're RCMPing and I'm speeding,
I just show him my veterans card and Dono wouldn't give me a ticket.
Right. But seriously, like if we could look up Dono's team, his forwards are all very point heavy, great players.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the problems about getting a really high point team is they're usually figure skaters, right?
I agree, but that's why you go, your defense, all 6 should be just goons.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Especially because he's got 12, like I don't know all 12, but he's got at least 10 that are really good point producers. And that's just me going off nothing. My memory's not the greatest. But I think he's got at least 10. So just go goons, and then his goalies with Philadelphia guy Hart and Jari. They started off hot, but they're kind of coming back down to what they were.
Well, not Jari isn't.
Jari's still playing well.
Oh yeah, he's only given up like a goal a game max lately, and Pittsburgh's putting up the points right now.
So it's Hart's the guy that's kind of, and because he signed Pedersen too, right? He signed or Peterson or the LA guy. And Quick's like, well, it's my job.
Yeah, I know.
And I think he was banking on him, Calvin, and Calvin's a good goalie, but this is not for this year.
And so in second place, that would be you, Ryan, moved all the way up to at 100.
From what was I last week?
Oh, you were third.
Yeah, that's terrible. I should just quit this game.
Well, you were at second, but you lost your spot to Dino, and then Dino fell down, and you rose up, and that was
so fickle, this
Yeah.
fancy. Like it's like
Oh
you're up,
yeah.
you're
Well,
down.
yeah. Remember, if you watching our podcast last week, you would have heard me and Keith talking about how fancy readjusts on the
He
fly.
does. That's true.
He
That's right.
readjusts on the fly.
Yeah.
And
I
so
I more remember you talking about guys you want to buy out, and then we're upset about talking about that.
I
And then
howled.
saying
I
we
howled
love
when
them.
I howled when I saw Bo's request for Kotkaniemi. I go, well, at least he's watching the podcasts. He knows I'm not 100% happy with this dude, but
Oh,
don't try
man.
to pawn Palmieri off on me with one goal, man. You know who watches every minute of every single Islander game.
Watch
Yeah.
those Islander podcasts. I see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Y'all might want to go for Josh Bailey now. Get him before I do.
Was we're talking like, because I'm like, Palmieri needs a guy you need to like who passes. And you said Bailey. I'm like, oh, they should play. He's like, they're both right wingers. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
He needs like it's I don't know. Oh, yeah, but yeah, like so last week I learned
I think Barzell's his best bet.
hilarious.
He needs to
But
play with Barzell.
he just shoots too much though, doesn't he?
He does.
Like he's a shooter.
He's doing
to shoot.
nothing. He's doing nothing. He's not doing anything.
Barzell?
No, Palmieri.
What's Barzell doing? That's okay. She can talk. What's she say?
Winning chicken dinner over there. She's gonna win her chicken dinner as she beat her
Wait,
solitaire
what did
game.
she win?
Well, she won
solitaire.
solitaire, and now it's snowing all over the place.
Is she playing some
solitaire?
Online poker? Online
No,
poker?
just solitaire. That game that always comes with the computers. That solitaire game. That one.
What's that Barzell doing though, Terry? What's he doing?
Well,
are you happy with him?
He's enjoying being in COVID protocol.
Yeah, he's got what 17 points in how many games? Like he's a good player. What's happening with him?
Oh, it's
Trotz
the
has
team.
got to get his act together.
No, it's the team. I mean, they can't put the puck in the net. Yeah, and it's not like they're not getting opportunities. They're getting opportunities. There's just no finish. None. And I mean, Barzell's not a goal scorer. He's a passer.
Is that right? Is he a passer?
He's a passer way more than he is a goal scorer. And when you're constantly passing the puck, and this is not a this year problem. This has been a 4-year problem with Barzell. Is he keeps setting everybody up and they don't score. And
I've been watching I've been watching
have a lot more points.
Games. I've been watching Devils games and what's his name? Jack Hughes, same thing. Just shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Stop passing it behind your back or whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
God damn, it's annoying to watch.
So
Anyway, tell me. It feels second. It feels like the second best.
Second best. Like. Yeah, but mission accomplished, right? You lost your spot and you gained her back.
Mission accomplished.
Well,
are we in the last week?
The immediate,
still halfway through.
You have your small increments of immediate goals, and then you got your long-term goals, right?
I want to be here. I want to be here at this point. I want to be here. All right, I'll give you that. Right.
So back into second to go, and now it's time to hunt down Renee, right? So you're 115, 20. I don't have my glass on. That's either 28 or 29, and 7 for 237 points. And the Harrison Lakers leading the way in first place are 132 wins, 14 losses, and 4 ties for 268 points.
God damn.
Yeah. So he's basically 31 points ahead of you. So the Rangers are 30 points ahead of the Wolfpack. The Lakers are 31 points ahead of you.
And then me, Dono, and Dean are kind of like,
you guys are within 4 points of each other. Well, they're tied and you're 4 points ahead of both of them. So anyway, that's how fancy sees it. I can't remember the last time this top 5 changed. As in a new team.
Like the players you mean? 5. Yeah. It won't. Well, you could. It's tough. You have a chance. You have a chance to crack the top 5, but like me, Renee, Dean, Dono, and Bo and yourself are the top 6. So you have a chance to squeak in there. Maybe Bo squeaks down. Maybe Dono's a bad week. Maybe he squeaks down. But even then, I don't think so. It's between you and Bo, I guess, right? At that time to. Good job, Sonia.
Ryan's laughing at me. I don't know how the rest of the people viewing the podcast will take it, but
they're fine. They love
I'm
it.
sure. Oh, God damn it! I'm sure Jillian won't mind.
Maybe they can play salt there at the same time.
Maybe, and have a cupcake. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's great having a
Yeah.
fan. I tell you, I love it. Love it. Thank you.
Good for you, TK.
Thank you, Jillian. All right. So anyway, okay, so that takes care of our fancy stats. So you know what that can only be bringing up as it's that time once again to find out, are you a pretender
or a contender?
That's right, or a contender. And you know what, I've only got one team in there this week, and it's going to be a pretender. And I have to go with the Macaulay Mustangs on this one, as they are 78, 66, and 6, currently ahead of 3 teams right now. It are 4 teams right now in the standings that are that are better in fancy stats than they are. Like for example, right now if you take a look at Port Elgin, right now the Islanders, I think the Islanders are 91 wins, 45 losses, and 11 times. Anyway, Islanders are 192 points. Islanders got 192 points, and Port Elgin's got 193. And there's Keith sitting with, what has he got there? It's almost 146 plus 6 is 154.
152.
Or yeah,
it's 152, but 54
right.
is pretty close.
152. So but you know, that's almost a 40-point gap between me and Bo.
Yeah, like he's definitely, so he's a pretender for fancy, but he's definitely a playoff guy.
Oh, he's definitely a playoff team, but is he a contender?
It depends.
Yeah, I guess
he's
it
right
does.
now. No,
Yeah.
Right now, no. Unless he he's hot for that waiver wire, right? So
yeah,
pick up some good guys. So if he continue to play that waiver wire game, then yeah, but that's good guys who are good to be picked up on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
He's also got like a first, I think, maybe a second. I have no idea what he has, but he's got options. So it depends what he wants. But he needs goaltending. His goaltending is not gonna give it to him unless he gets this super lucky with like Koskinen getting a shutout and Allmark playing later 2 games. Like that's what it's such a weakness for him.
The thing that really makes him a pretender, though, is you know, as Keith talks about it himself, is he's just getting the right week against the right team at the right time. Everything's working for him, right? So it's going to be.
But again, like it's
the
same thing. It's the same.
Something.
It's the same thing with West. Like who's Keith? Keith should never lose to 10 plus teams.
Yeah, and he pretty much hasn't been. He's been beating everybody he's had to beat.
Yeah, and he should compete with all of us, except for maybe Renee and now Dean with his massive pickup of.
And he's beat 2 big people, right, in the last 2 weeks.
He just beat Dean.
Yeah, but who'd he beat last week? Yeah, last week, right? It was you. So I mean,
so
those are huge. Now if he goes through this next round, because he's just played you both recently, and wins all the games that he's supposed to, he could end up in first place.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. That's exactly right. Like the only person he should lose to is Renee, and he will play him at some point, probably. But like he's beaten me and he's beaten Colwood, right?
Yeah.
And he beat Bo last week, and I mean he must play you at some point. Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna.
No, I just beat him just before he played you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna go on a run. He probably won't lose a game for
very well good. Very well good. So Keith is not the worst pretender out there.
Not at all.
He is but he is the 8th overall best team according to Fancy, and right now he currently stands as the 3rd best team in the league.
Yeah,
with points.
And then after next month,
he's a bit of a pretender, right? He's a pretender.
Yeah.
He's up there where he doesn't belong, and he'll probably fall back a little bit, depending on if he makes some moves or something. Who knows? He could grab him.
Well, that's the question. Like, what do you
know, right?
Say you're the Mustang, Macaulay Mustangs GM. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? You could maybe
Maybe
get
ride
rid
the
of a first
luck
rounder and
streak.
pick up some players.
Yeah.
Or you can just write it out and then use that first rounder for like that bottom four, like the 12 to 16 or 13 to 16 are gonna be awesome good picks too. But
Yeah.
it's a
So
dilemma he's got.
yeah.
He's in a good position to go either way, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And even if he does go that other way, he could still fluke out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's well, yeah.
Like if you
Say
go the
he
other
trades away
way,
one good guy.
and you could still win anyway.
Yep.
Like if you win 2 series, you've won the third place money.
Yep, exactly.
All you
And
got to
you
do
can
is
you trade away one guy
yeah,
and get whoever and
yeah,
still be competing and
yeah.
still win. But he needs gold. I think.
Yes, agreed.
I don't think Koskinen and Mark is the combo. That
I
gets you
agree.
there.
I've been saying that to Keith all year long that his goaltending's just not good enough. It's not even close to being good enough, in my opinion. But anyway, so
No,
yeah, I'm gonna
I
leave.
don't think so either.
There was a couple of people that were kind of a little bit borderline that could have been pretenders or contenders, but I left it out because they're just not that big of a swap, and they're kind of in the place where they should be anyway, roughly. So
Yeah.
I didn't include them. So that's going to take us to games of the week, and I got quite a few games of the week to talk about this week. There's some interesting matchups, and first off, right off the bat, I'm going to go with Pitter Patter at 10-8-2 going up against the East Coast Brewers 14-6. So Pitter Patter's tied for third going up against second place East Coast Brewers. See if they can do the same thing that the Islanders did to them by beating the Brewers. So
I will say no.
very well could be, but who knows what with this schedule this coming, what more
True,
things
that's the
they're
only
going to
thing,
throw
yeah.
at us here. What a crappy time to be a commissioner of a league. Welcome to the
Yeah.
club there, Ryan. This is
Yeah.
going to be fun to
Hey,
figure
it's
out.
fun. I think it's fun. I think it's a good time.
And then
We're out not drinking.
I think our marquee matchup of the week would probably be the
Ooh.
Harrison Lakers at 18-1-1 going up against East Coast Brewers, first against second in the Bossy division.
That's an interesting one. So that's this week and next week.
This week. Well, yeah, this week and next week. But
Did we talk about that yet?
What's that?
We talked about that already.
Yeah,
we talked about that already.
Yeah, we talked about it already.
That's an interesting matchup. I don't know.
Depends how the weeks go. Depends how the week goes. Like I said, I didn't like, you know, the one thing. See, I didn't really notice much out of. I didn't think when I was playing Renee this week, because like I said, I was right there with him, and then I got ahead of him in that. So I wasn't overly impressed against playing against him. I thought, okay, yeah, maybe he can be beat. So I think Dono can win this game if it, you know, it's just.
I don't think he. I think he.
Everything needs to be right.
I think Dono's team is good enough. Yeah. Well, that says that you can say about any team, but
yeah,
Dono's team is he's got a great forwards. Great. I'm a big fan of his forwards actually. And I couldn't even tell you who's on there because I haven't looked at it, but I know I've looked over there and like, man, those are like 8 to 10 really good forwards.
Yeah.
I think he's got a couple good. He's got like 2 good guys, and the other 4 should be just pimp guys who just kill people and take their skates off and try to stab people and get as many freaking double 10-minute penalties as much as they can. And if you get a guy who can do that plus get plus minus, then that would be a bonus. And I wish that for him, he needs like a Hart to play better or Calvin Peterson. And then he's a major contender at that point.
Yep.
And that's not a small changes. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm sorry. It's not a big change.
No, that's true. And we got another interesting matchup. This one is kind of for a playoff spot, I think, because I just don't know in DeGarro's head, but that would be my team, the Courtney Islanders at 10-8-2 going up against Flying Colors at 9-10-1. And currently right now, the Islanders are holding the last Bossy division playoff spot. So Garrow's only 3 points behind me. So go a long way by beating the Islanders this week.
Yeah. He should. It's so tough with Garrow's team because sometimes he just wins games. But he shouldn't.
Well,
this is a game.
Sagan all of a sudden started scoring from tonight. He got no points from Sagan, but he got a whole bunch tonight out of him. He got 2 out of him tonight. And Sagan's having a horrible season.
And he's +3. and he's +3.
Yeah.
That's one game.
Thank
7
God
goals they scored one game. But you
Yeah.
got Ben though,
I got
so that
Ben.
helps you there.
That helped me.
And Ben was plus a bit too. I think
Yeah,
I didn't.
I hope so.
I only looked at. I didn't see the final. But I know both of them are like score points and
7-4.
like they're both plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7-4 or something like that. So anyway,
And
that's
Klingberg got some points for Dino. So
that's a pretty important game for Garrow if he has intentions of making the playoffs. So that'll be
and maybe Garrell puts a message on there saying exactly what he wants to do, but he won't. He's tight-lipped.
no, yeah.
He might not even watch these things.
I don't think he does. I'm sure he'd have some comments for me if he did.
I feel like he would have, but especially last year. You were just gunning from last year. So
I know.
he must not watch them.
He always looked so intent in the tower, when he was doing his fantasy football before he got into the league. I thought, man, this guy's gonna be great for the league. He's like so into it and everything and that.
Yeah. Was it looking intense or very confused? Like,
probably more along the confused line.
Oh man, I hope he watches this.
All right. Now I love this next matchup, and it's our final matchup of the week that we're watching. And I think this is I know I'm going to be watching this game because it's going to be two of the best going at it right now. And I'm talking about the Greenwood Highlanders at 118-1, going up against the Florida Gators at 3-17. The Gators on a 13-game losing streak and the Highlanders on a 12-game losing streak. This is going to be exciting. I want to place, and I've got a question for you. If I placed the number 25 as the two-team total points, would you go the over or the under?
So them together in almost 2 weeks, depending on how many games.
Yeah, but there's still not going to be that many games because they were both half weeks.
25 is the over under.
So that would be 13 and 12 would get one team with 13, the other with 12. But I've seen Blake put up some
going
sevens.
under. Nah.
Yeah, I think I would go the under too.
Yeah. That might be the smart bet. And that could be like just where, and then they just come.
Well, just
show up with like.
To put it to this way, I had it at 20 and I thought, oh no, that's a little too.
That's too low.
So I tried.
But even then, that's close.
Well, you want to make it. You want to make the person think about which way to go, right, on the bet. So you want to try to find.
Well, how high would you go then? How high would you go? 30? Is that too high? Sorry. So we both say 925.
I guess if they.
What would you say?
I guess if they both had a week, I think they could get to 30. A good one, like if they both had a good week.
But you're going under 25. So
I would
say the over under. Say the over under 20 and a half. 20 and a half.
Okay, I'm thinking Blake for like a 7 or 8 one, so that would leave Dan with 12. Oh, I think I'd have to go the over on the 20, but that would
20 and a half is over.
Yeah, I think that would.
Who's their one guy who's going to just go stupid and go 5 points? Because there's always one team, right?
Yeah.
Like last week when I was playing Nick, he had Nishkushkin who got like 3 goals and whatever.
He's been on fire ever since.
And it's like
Nishkushkin's just like, man, where were you when we drafted you as a prospect and we were expecting all these
when you were supposed to? Yeah.
And now,
so like
7 years later,
now he does it for like 1 week. Who's their guys? Who's the Florida guy? Because Florida's got some. I think he's got some guys. So like,
guess
is
what?
there one guy?
Guess what? Right now they're currently tied, and both teams have zeros across the board.
I'm trying to think if they had anybody in those games. Minnesota.
Okay, so let's go for Dan, like Backlund, Bonino, Domi, Jarvis, Kessel.
Domi,
Kessel
could
screw you up. Yeah, Domi could. Yep. Middle step. Ryan O'Reilly, Nick Suzuki.
Is O'Reilly playing? Is O'Reilly playing?
Vrana, yeah. These are all in. Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho from the Islanders.
Yeah, the bad Aho.
Tyson Barry, Brody. Bryson, Grzelcyk, Subban.
That's like 10 points easy. That's like 10 to 12
Yeah.
points.
I'm
What's
thinking, yeah, this is looking a little
That's
stronger than I thought.
that's 12 points. I'll give him 12. A couple of those guys were hurt for a lot of years, a lot of this year,
Yeah.
so we'll put those out. Like I'm pretty sure Brad is hurt. And,
There's, I guess, maybe Jaden Swartz on the other team might get.
is he
Oh
playing
my
Schwartz?
God, there's no doubt the weaker team here is Florida Gators. So I'm gonna go with the Gators. Gators are gonna lose. Dan's gonna win. Oh,
All
hold on. Let me check his goaltenders. Oh, there's
That's the problem. He's got Allen.
And DeSmith.
And DeSmith could play one if they like say Jerry gets COVID.
Well, his last
So,
game he got a shutout, so there's that.
Yeah.
But-
And then Dan's goal. He's getting zeros in the goal.
Yeah.
So
Every time, like he learned from the best.
so that's what I'm saying. It's tight.
We showed him
and,
the way.
I kind of looked it off you and like, hey, he's getting 0 points in his goal. He's like, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah.
And I did it. And then at the near the end when you dropped
Hey,
that
but
Jake out, I was like,
isn't
I'm
that
scooping him up.
how you win? Is by
Yes.
watching other guys and see what they do and say, you know
I
what,
agree.
I think that might work. And I think I'll try
And-
that
and-
for me.
And I watched and I'm like, man, he's close to the edge. He
Yeah.
might have to drop Jake Allen. I'm
Oh,
like,
it
come
was
on,
close.
dude.
It was
Dude,
close.
drop him,
Oh,
dude,
did you
drop him.
actually think that? Yeah, and I finally
Oh,
had
yeah.
to. I finally
And
had
then I
it.
picked how fast did I scoop him up? As fast as I could.
It turned out to be huge because
Mhm.
I basically just got in by what, a point or two?
Well, that's right. And I
Into
knew
the-
like if you drop him, that gives me
I know.
like percent, like that's like 70% I'm winning that whole ball.
I just laughed when you picked him up. I just went because we had
Oh, you
actually
knew I
been
was.
talking.
You knew I
did.
was.
Yes, I did. If not you,
was waiting.
I knew somebody was going to, but I knew you would for sure. So
I was waiting for you. I'm like, he can't be happy. He's not solidified in that bottom four. And his
Yeah.
goalies keep winning. He's got to drop Jake Allen. And when he does,
Yeah.
I'm gonna vulture that motherfucker.
and you did.
Now I'm taking Draisaitl.
All right, Ryan, that's what we got for the week. You got a final word on the week or the week's coming up or anything?
Just a big old joyous Noel. Merry Christmas. We will
All that fun
probably
stuff.
you'll probably do a thing before that, right? New Year's Eve.
Feliz
there's no
Navidad.
Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad.
Navidad.
Whatever else you
Navidad.
do.
Yeah.
Whatever they do in Florida. I'm not sure.
Is Laura with you?
Am I paused?
No. Now you're a bit.
Can't-
Is Laura with you?
No, she's working.
Oh, she's
there we
back
go.
in Comox?
No, she's working. She's yeah, we got back on the 14th and she had to work
Yeah.
16 to 23rd. And I haven't been back home for 2.5 years. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I
it's
better come
time,
home
eh?
now.
Yeah.
I mean, if I keep pushing it off, yeah. So, and it's been fun. I haven't seen, 2.5 years is a long time not to see your family. So,
Yeah.
but then I figured if I go down, come back on Christmas, I can spend Christmas back in Comox Florida and,
Good
see
call.
you guys. And
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
yeah, but that's my message. Just
So,
have a good Christmas and just don't, maybe get some more cupcakes to Terry. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I love Jillian. There's gonna be six
can't
or
wait to-
seven. There's gonna be six
I
or
can't wait to
seven
see
of
them.
those on there tonight. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Anyway, I don't have much to say right now except yeah, I thought it was just a great, exciting week watching all the shakeups, like even in fancy stats, and then the divisions, people flipping up in spots, and that it's been fun to watch. So it's been a good year. We got obviously some hectic times coming up here with what's happening with the COVID and what the league's eventually going to do with it and that. So just try to bear with us, guys. We're just going to try to make the best decision that we can for the league and try to move through this the best way we can. There are no rules for it because none of us have ever
Thunderdome.
Well, nobody's ever been through it. Well, we have been through it, but even though we've been through it, it's always different every time, right? Like a 48 game season and then how did we do that? Okay, we got to minus this amount of weeks. And so
I'm with you.
it's been like the last 2-3 years have been pretty tough for putting on the league here. So bear with us. We'll do what we can and we'll do what we think is fairest for everybody. and that. And I want to do the same as Ryan and wish everybody a very Merry Christmas out there. You guys take care. I hope you all got your green bud for the holidays. 'Tis the season to be green for sure. So with saying that, you guys take her easy and peace out.
And happy festival.